why does it feel like our world is becoming more and more, uh, for lack of better words, a simulation? More and more people are becoming more selfish, feeling like they are the main character, quote unquote, right? So many people have this quote unquote NPC mentality, right? That these other people aren't real, that they don't matter, that they're not human beings. You know, people are just becoming so self-centered, right? We're just coming out of this whole, on TikTok, the grind set 30-day hard challenges, right? And that's great. It sounds great at first, and part of it is great. That's self-improvement. You're working on yourself, you're working on discipline, fitness, anything, right? But I think when you really boil it down, it's just an excuse to be more selfish and self-centered, right? Especially with like this like hard days stuff, right? Because essentially the idea of it is you want to cut off everyone else and focus on, I don't know, getting money or getting in shape or whatever. And it's good for you, but I think that just is an excuse to be more selfish, right? I mean, so many people, me too, right? Feel like, or sometimes they quote like know, right? They think they are the most important person, um, and the most important person in their life is themselves, right? I feel like everyone's only worried about themselves. They see themselves in the middle of everything. They make it about them when it's not, right? No one is. Nobody is at the center. We're all just cogs in this giant societal machine trying to work a little harder to make a name for ourselves. But in reality, no one cares. Everybody is too wrapped up in their own bubble to see you because all anyone is worried about is himself. You know? Like, take social media influencers, for example, right? They've done that. They've put themselves at the center. I say that while making quotation thingies with my fingers in the air that I learned. I don't know when I ever started doing that. But right, they put themselves on there. They're huge on media. A lot of people follow them, right? They're at the center. That's what they feel. But everyone else is saying, dude, they're just an NPC, they're not real. Like the stuff they're doing, like we just don't understand that's a real person, you know? And a lot of the time, it's more like rage bait, and they're kind of like looked down upon and made fun of, you know? While at the same time, they're thinking to themselves, they might know that they're getting made fun of. They're thinking, dang, I'm tricking them into doing this so I make more money. And they're not hurting me. I'm just making money, right? And there's always two sides of the story because everyone thinks it's about them. Everyone thinks they are what matter. And you matter. You do matter, right? You're very unique. You're special. But it's not healthy, you know? Um, I mention it all because it directly relates to life feeling more and more unreal, you know? And I'm connecting this simulation life to like this I I guess main character syndrome. Feeling like you are the main character, feeling like I think everyone nowadays or most young people have it kind of in the back of their heads. Like they kind of just have a little like question like is this all real? You know? And it's like, dude, really? I mean, I can't believe, I've felt this way before too, you know? But looking back, it's like, dude, how self centered do you have to be to genuinely question whether these people around you with souls, with brains, right? Their brain works the same way as yours does. And you're saying, I don't know, they might not be real. I'm the important one. I mean, get a listen to that out loud. I mean, it is so selfish, right? feels like the world and the people in it are becoming more and more unhinged, you know? Um, I use that word specifically from Moist Critical. I like watching him. This is not, he did not make a video on this. He's not talked about this. I've just heard him use that thing when he talks about messages. That's, I don't know. I just don't want someone to be like, dude, you literally stole from Moist Critical. You're a copycat. Um, no. But back to what I was talking about. I don't know. Uh, but more people are becoming unhinged by the day, and I firmly believe that that is because everyone, to some, usually a great degree, that everyone else is just white noise in their life. That everyone else is just kind of there, and they're not that important. They don't matter. Like they aren't this person with feelings. Like I, since growing up, right, most people have heard that like uh treat others how you would want to be treated. But we don't like doing that. That involves kindness, going out of our way to do things for people. And sometimes they don't treat us that way, and we get mad and we want to do something. And I think it's ingrained in a lot of our memories and ideals and morals and stuff that we should do that. It's kind of wrong to not, or to be like mean to others, right? So we kind of create this idea. We kind of, in a way, gaslight ourselves, I guess, to kind of doubt that like they're real. So that gives us an excuse to be able to be worse, to be more mean, when that is not okay, you know? Um, I mean, it's crazy. Like it's so easy to forget that someone else is their own person with their own life. Why is everyone so self-centered? I'm not discluding myself. I'm just as much in the matrix. I do that with the thing with my hands again as everyone else, right? But why? Why is the world becoming more and more like this? I think it's because we're running out of things to do. We're filling our souls with garbage, right? We're putting porn, drugs, money, fame, success, all these pleasures in our life to feel some sense of fulfillment, and it just doesn't work. I mean, back then, we would fill that spiritual gap with others, right? And that does a pretty good job. But I people aren't perfect, right? You're never going to find a perfect friend. I think everyone longs for like this friend that like from the movies or something that's perfect. You guys just, you never does anything wrong. But that's never going to happen. Sorry to burst your bubble. That isn't going to happen. People are messed up, right? People are sinners, And I say that from a biblical standpoint, right? This focus of this video isn't really going to be very biblical. It's more of, I don't know, a rant, I guess. I'm not sure. But no one's perfect, And I kind of like to imagine it like this. You have this hole, okay? Let's say this is the gap of your soul. Now, we put people in there, right? Let's say we put your best friend in there. There'd be a lot of other things, but let's say your best friend, okay? Now your best friend fills it pretty well, It's like it's not much leakage, But then your friend messes up. He makes a little tear, makes it a little bit wider, just a little bit, nothing crazy, right? But people do that constantly, and it hurts. We don't like it. It's painful. It's hard to deal with, you know? And over time, we're like, dude, this sucks. This sucks, And we don't realize that's a part of life. People aren't perfect, right? And especially in young people, right? Um, I think part of why we feel this way, rather, because in the past, way back when, I mean, all people had was what, some weird drugs in the ground, maybe some alcohol, beans, um, sex, and people. People mainly. That was where people would get their fulfillment. People, family. Families, people, right? But as I was saying, young people are growing up in the TikTok era and all these electronics, right? And these electronics, promise like mega deal, this will fix it immediately. This medicine will fix it immediately. That's what we want. We want that. I mean, you're able to open your phone. You don't even need to open your phone. It's actually, if you have watched like a decent amount of TikTok, right? Um, I I I can do this, right? Um, if you like make your hand like you're holding your phone and swipe your thumb, that will give you a hit of dopamine. You don't need it. That's what gives you the dopamine, the initial hit of dopamine when you watch a TikTok, right? That's why like people just swipe through them so fast because their brain's like, dude, we don't really need this unless it's like genuinely interesting to me. So I'm just gonna keep swiping. That's what gives me dopamine, right? Because we can get it so easily, right? And it fills up so easily. And people stopped looking for other people to fulfill them, and instead they look into these electronics, money, drugs, sex, all these fame, right? And they're not getting it. When I say it, I'm referring to like this fulfillment, the gap I mentioned earlier within us, right? We all need something to fulfill us, to give us contentment, right? And people aren't getting it from other people, so they focus more and more on themselves, justifying it with self-improvement. You see where I'm going with this, right? So people say, okay, I don't really like the way that people operate. They're not perfect, right? So they get these other things, they put it in that gap. They throw out their friends, right? They put them in the off pile, where it's like, this person's cool and all, they're funny, but like I'm what's important. They're just kind of there. What I want to like really get my me from, I guess, is all this garbage, you know? And at first it's kind of nice for a short time. But I think what I imagine it like this, right? I said the tears from the person in a whole, right? Because people aren't perfect. But I think the way that um, all this stuff works, I don't know, just trash, right? Is I think at first it fills it up really nice and tight. That gap is like clamped up. And it doesn't tear. I don't think it tears. But I think what it does is it dissolves. It slowly, uh, pretty unnoticeably until it's too late, just is like an acid on like metal. Just slowly burns through, burning until there's nothing left, right? And it's burned, so these people don't want to come in. It's too hot. It's painful to go in there, right? That's not a good place to be, right? So they don't want to come in. So you just have to keep filling with that stuff. And as it gets deeper and deeper from the acid garbage, you have to put more in until, I mean, what left is there? There's nothing left. Your gap isn't there. It's a void. It's not a well of despair. It's a void. And it's sad. I think that is why people are becoming so self-centered. And I don't think that's good. Um, when like that self-improvement is just leaving everybody out of your life. And I keep referencing self-improvement. That's just an example. This comes in many forms, you know? And self-improvement is good. Don't think I'm saying if you want to start working out, start working out. If you want to get this job, get this job. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying that don't become too consumed with yourself, right? You have someone, you have a, this is another example. It's kind of annoying, I guess, to hear, but it's all I can think of at the moment. Should have written something down, but basically you have a bodybuilder, right? And bodybuilders are cool. It's an amazing sport. It's beautiful. It's art, right? But let's say you have this guy that he doesn't really compete. He just works out because it's fun, and that's great. He loves doing it. It's part of his life. It's a passion. But I just mean that like some guys are just so self-absorbed. I mean, they just all they worry about is their body, you know? And again, it's a kind of annoying example. I don't like that example, but I hope you get what I'm saying. You know, and that's self-improvement. But I'm sure you can think of something else. It's probably something you do. Um, I guess I'm just a perfect array of sunshine because I can't think of anything. I promise. There's plenty. I'm just gonna, you know. But well, here's what I want you to do. I want you to imagine a world. I want you to imagine two worlds. One where everybody is devoting 100% of their time and effort into themselves, focusing on them. They are what matter. Everyone else, there's no need for morality, right? These are just they're no different than like a cockroach or a bug, or eventually at this rate a rock, you know. And then I want you to imagine, right? And that's gonna end badly because these are real people. They're not rocks. These are like they think the same way you do. They like in their head, they are the main character too, right? Basically, what I mean is, so then you have a second world, and this world, everyone understands each other. Everyone wants to be kind to one another. Everybody wants to help one another. They want to take time out of their day, right? To help others, you know? And the message isn't to be kind necessarily, but that's just I'd say that's a very strong sense of uh, caring for others, you know, understanding others, right? And I could go on about this world, but I don't really need to. You know, I'm sure or hope you're imagining just a good world. Yeah. I mean, I start with that. I think that anything that you come up with after is a good trait, you know? In the bad world, I think you would start coming up if you expanded in your own mind, I think it would be bad traits. Um, yeah, it's really all I have to say, you know? The world would be nowhere if everyone is focused on themselves. We need people. We need others in our life, you know? Other people make us whole. Not totally, and I'll explain that in a second. And do you really think that you will ever be enough for yourself? Because I know I will never be. Humans are ambitious people, right? I don't care how lazy you are, you're ambitious. I promise you. You want to be more for yourself. I think personally, I mean, I don't know this, but I think if someone's very lazy, right? I'm pretty lazy. I don't think it's that you don't want to be more than that. I think it's that you're scared to be more than that. Um, but that's not what I'm trying to talk about. I'm just saying that I don't think we can ever be enough for ourselves because we're so humans are pretty messed up. I just think it's a totally flawed perspective. I don't think that you can fill your this cracked well that sits in your chest and leaks out this black water. I don't think you can do that. Life is hard, confusing, and we all just want to find some relief from these stressful days. Believe me, I know life is harsh, but that's not going to happen by watching TikToks all day or quote unquote focusing on yourself. And back to when I said I'll talk about it later, and when I talked about that acid well or the cracked well within you, I didn't mention much of a fix, you know, but now I'm going to. Um, I don't care if that void within you is astronomically huge and you're a shell of a person. I don't care if you look at yourself, if you look in the mirror and you say, I want to die. Life isn't worth living. I don't care if you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, I'm amazing. I am like I'm on top of it. My grades are perfect. My I'm very kind. I make a lot of money. I don't care. I don't care what you have going on. I don't care how deep the well is. I don't care how cracked it is. I don't care how dissolved it is. Nothing, and I say this so, I mean, I know that a lot of people might hear this very often, especially if you grew up in Texas like m- mo- m- I grew up most of my life or half my life in Texas. But like a lot of people at this point, I'd say that would agree that or have heard God can fix you no matter what, right? But I'm telling you, like God, like I don't care how messed up you are, how perfect you are. God can fix it. God, I mean, God is this, I don't know, he has like this flex tape to put on the cracks in the well, and that stuff is not coming off. I mean, I hope you've seen the ad when he gets the clear boat and sails on water. That's, I mean, and then for the dissolved part, he has like a, I don't know, he pulls out the, I'm sorry to pull out like a 2020 meme, but an Uno reverse card. It's the only thing I could think of. Okay, I'm sorry. It's so cringe. But he pulls out the Uno reverse card and he says, "No, man, you're chilling. Yep, you're all good." You say, "Wait, but I've done this," and he says, "Yeah, I know. It's okay." And then you talk about how like I don't know. Maybe you tell him, "Dude, I've literally like I'm the worst person ever. I molested my daughter." Maybe that's what you're thinking of, right? God would look at you in the eye. Jesus would look at you in the eyes, and he say, "I know how much it hurts. Let me help you carry this burden. Let me take this off your shoulders." He can help you. I promise. I promise. I like anything. And he'll fill that gap. He won't just fix it, he'll fill it. He'll fill it up like a cork to a wine bottle. I mean, I'm telling you, I know, believe me. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Um, if you have anything you want to question or whatever, let me know in the comments. I also have a Discord, which will be in the description. I encourage you to join that. It's got like two channels. I don't really know. But it's just you can you can ask me anything, you can ask the chat anything. I don't know. But you can talk about whatever you want. You can talk about philosophy, you can talk about God, you can talk about Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege and Jinxie's effect on the game. I don't care. But yeah, uh, I hope you have a good day. Hope you thought this might have been meaningful. I hope that if the end resonated with you or something, if you want to talk to me about that, you want to talk to me about God or something, when you're kind of confused, I'm telling you, dude, message me on Discord. I'll respond within like a day. Okay. Maybe one time this guy, someone joined the Discord and he messaged me about one of my videos. And, and I woke up. So I wake up at like about 6 a.m. And I guess he's in a very different time zone, or maybe he's just a freak. I don't know. But I woke, I checked my phone at like 6:13 after I showered, and I'm just saying like I don't know when I'll message you back, but yeah, God bless.